Go ahead, John. Straightforward.
Straightforward. Is the President willing to engage in budget negotiations with the Republicans if the government is still shut down?
I think the President's been very clear on that. If the Republicans think, or the Tea Party that is driving the Republican decision-making up there thinks that they can extract concessions by punishing the American people, by punishing the American economy, in order to get what they want, the answer is no. The President is meeting with House Republicans today. So the idea that this is about having a conversation, well, they're having a conversation today. But they will not, whether it's Obamacare or tax breaks for millionaires or any other of their possible demands, they're not going to get it in exchange for funding the government at in a CR that was set by a Republican. Remember, the whole point of a short-term CR, as proposed by the Speaker originally, basically a clean CR set at existing levels, was to allow for time to have budget negotiations. So what's the rationale for refusing to do that in order to have budget negotiations? There is none. The only it's spite. It's deliberate harm to average folks out there, some of them who are directly affected because they can't go to work, others who are affected because they can't get a small business loan, or they can't get access to services that are important to them. There is macroeconomic harm done the longer the government is shut down, and there's no logical rationale for it. And I would say that they're doing harm to the American people, they're doing harm to the American economy, and by all accounts they're doing harm to the Republican Party, which is bad for America. We need two strong parties that can work together and not be in a situation where one faction of one house, of one branch of government is forcing shutdowns or default.
So that was a very long answer to a yes or no question. I just want to be sure I had it right. The President will not engage in budget negotiations with the Republicans until the government is reopened. Is that his position?
Our position is clear. They ought to turn on the lights. They ought to pay our bills. The President has been ready all year long. I mean, the fundamental question for Republicans is, why is the price of negotiations the President has been willing to engage in all year long doing harm to the American people and doing harm to the American economy and threatening the global economy? It's preposterous.
Because the Republicans have proposed this 6-month extension because they, don't get excited, 6-week extension to give time for these budget negotiations they think will happen while the government remains shut down. Are they deluding themselves?
Think about the proposition here, John. You're suggesting that...
No, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm asking you to respond.
No, I understand. But again, since we've seen nothing from the Republicans yet beyond a very brief press conference, we don't know what they're actually going to propose or what they may try to get passed in the House. But the suggestion in your question is that the Republicans would think that we can resolve all of our significant differences over the budget, and that while we work that out, we should do sustained harm to the American economy and sustained harm to the American people. And their rationale for that would be what?
To put pressure on you guys.
So okay, I love the crystallization here. That's right. They want to use harm. I'm not obviously not suggesting that this is your view. I'm saying that the logic here is that they would harm the American economy and American people in order to try to extract concessions from the President and their counterparts on Capitol Hill. That's an unsustainably bad proposition. It's bad economics, it's bad governance, and it's bad politics.
So the President would sign a clean, truly clean 6-week extension of the debt ceiling. He's going to need a clean CR before he will sit down and engage in negotiations for long-term budget.
To continue to talk about ifs and buts, as the Speaker said, doesn't get us anywhere. We haven't seen anything from the House Republicans yet. The President believes they ought to pay our bills. The President believes they ought to turn on the lights. And the President has always been willing to negotiate and work out and find common ground with Republicans over our long-term budget priorities. But he's not... again, going back to the assertion that they're going to use punishing the American people as leverage, doing harm to the American economy as leverage, that's unacceptable to the President. I think he's made that clear.
So